Welcome back student to the next class of complex analysis. In the previous class, if you remember, we defined the derivative of a complex function fz, which is defined as this. Like this. If was u plus iv and delta of f was delta u plus I delta v, and then we say that this derivative should exist if ux is equal to vy and uy is equal to minus of vx. This equation was called Cauchy-Riemann equation. Sometimes it is pronounced as Cauchy, it is up to you, sometimes it pronounced Cauchy. So, this condition is very important condition for a function, complex function, because if this condition is there, as I mentioned in the last class, this is a necessary condition a function for a function to have the derivative. So, it is not a it is not a sufficient condition. The sufficient condition, which is a very tricky way, if you want to prove that the sufficient condition, it is a very tricky way to prove that, but I can say that the sufficient condition is if these things are continuous in a region, if it is equal, then this is fine. Apart from that, another condition we should impose over that this is continuous over a region, then we call that this is a sufficient condition to have the derivative. After that, after having the knowledge of these things, that a function should have a derivative if CR equation or Cauchy-Riemann equation is satisfied, then we should define another thing called analytic function, which is a very important term, analytic, very important. So, what is, let us try to understand first that what is the meaning of analytic function. So, if a function fz has a derivative at some point z and also on some in some neighborhood of z, then the function fz is called the analytic function. A very straightforward definition, you will find this definition in any book, but you should understand that if a function fz has derivative in some point z, so that means the function should have some derivative at some point z and also in some neighborhood of z. That means if I have a function fz and this is the point say z, the function has a derivative over this point z, it is not that only the function should have the derivative at that point, but I can have a neighborhood, that means a region surrounded by a curve or something where z is inside. So, this region is a neighborhood of z. The function also have a derivative at other points. That means, if the function has a derivative this point, the function should have derivative here in all the points in the neighborhood. That means the function should not have the derivative only at that point, but the region of this point. If that is the case, then we should call this function the analytic function. In that case, we should have the relationship after having the true definition. I should say that the function, another way, that the function f z is analytic I say it is analytic if ux is equal to vy and vx is equal to minus of uy, or uy is equal to minus of vx, whatever. So, this CR equation should satisfy. So, I will have a function where the CR equation is satisfied, then I can say if this is satisfied, which is a necessary condition, but not the sufficient condition as I mentioned, but we will go with this necessary condition and say that this is, if this is the case, if this relationship is followed, then we can say the function is analytic. So, this is a necessary condition to have the function analytic, and for sufficient condition to have the function analytic, we must say that this 4 quantity, this is a necessary condition. Let me write it. Ux, Vy, Uy, Vx should be continuous on a over a region. This is sufficient. So, the necessary condition is that, and sufficient condition is they has to be continuous over a region. Fine. So, another way to define the analytic function. So, let me first give you a very simple example of analytic function. So, fz is equal to z square, the most simple example. Is the function is analytic? Forget about z square, let us start with fz is equal to z. Is this function analytic? So, let us try to find out. It is x plus iy, right. So, I know that my f is u plus iv. So, every time I should write it u plus iv form, and then u is my x and v is my y. I know what is u. U is a function of x y. So, here we have u is x, v is also a function of x y, I have u is v is y. So, now I say u x is 1, v y is also 1. So, that means my first condition u x is equal to v y is satisfied. What about the next one? U y is 0 and v x is 0. That means also in principle my second condition u y is equal to minus of v x is satisfied. Since both the condition is satisfied here, I must say this function is an analytic function. After having this, we will go to more and more examples, but before that, one interesting things I like to show here, and that is what is the mathematical meaning of a function to be analytic. So, fz is analytic means essentially del f del z star is equal to 0. This is an argument I like to mention. That means if a function f fz is not an explicit function of z prime, then if I make a partial derivative with respect to z prime, here z prime and z star means the complex conjugate, better to say this is a z prime, not z star, not z prime. So, if the function of fz, whatever the function is given to you, if you find it is not an explicit function of z star, that means the complex conjugate of z, then the partial derivative with respect to has to be 0. I am saying that fz is analytic if it is not an explicit function of z star. This argument and the CR equation are essentially the same thing. We will going to show that. So, what is my x? It is z plus z star divided by 2. I can write my x in this way. Also, I can write my y in this way, z minus z star. That means I just remove these things and divided by 2i. Okay. So, now I like to write these things in terms of x and y and then try to find out what is the meaning of that. So, if I do, so how the things will be there. So, del f del z star, if mind it is u plus iv. So, if I try to write this partial derivative, f is a function of u and y. So, I can write it in this way, del u del z star, say del u del x del z star plus del u del y del z star plus del u del v with a I, because this is a variable, this is a variable where f is defined by x plus I y. So, if I do that, then I should have this quantity x del x del z star plus I del v del y del z star. Just separation of variable, you can do that by just write del f del x and del f del y, and del f del x again you can write in terms of this. So, it will come to the same form. So, I mean I just do that at a stretch. If you write, for example, let me write it here. So, del f del star, I hope you can understand this, but if you don't, if you have any confusion, so let me write it once again what I am trying to do. It may be helpful for you if you don't get it. And then del f del x, I can take it from here. So, it will be simply del u del z thing and plus I del v del thing, these things and these things. So, now I can write it as u x and del x del z, because I have the relationship between x and z. So, I can take out this quantity from here. So, this gives you that del x del z star is equal to half. In a similar way, del y del z star is equal to minus of 1 by 2i. Now, I just put it here. So, del u del thing is half plus this is u y, and I should put a minus of 1 by 2 I here, because del y del z star is this quantity, plus I del v del x is v x. These things again we have half, and another thing is here, which is plus I v of y. These things is minus of 1 by 2y. Okay. So, now I can combine the real and imaginary part, because this is real, again we have a real. So, if I rearrange this term, I should have half u x minus v y. If I multiply I here, so this term is it will be simply I by 2. I will have v x plus u y. These two equation I will have when I am making del f del z star, then I will have these things. Now, you can readily understand that if this is 0, if this quantity is 0, that from where I started, if del f del star is 0, that essentially means this is 0 and this is 0, because this is the real part and this is the imaginary part. So, this real part and imaginary part should 0 individually. If this is the case, I can readily have u x is equal to v y and v x is equal to minus of u y, which is nothing but our old CR equation. This is Cauchy-Riemann equation. So, the Cauchy-Riemann equation, whatever I am saying, is nothing but a mathematical argument over the analytic function, and it suggests that the analytic function should not have an explicit dependence of z star. Fz, if Fz is analytic, then Fz will not depends on z star explicitly. That means Fz should not be a explicit function, Fz should not be the explicit function of z star. This is nothing but the mathematical expression we show in the top, that is del f del z star is equal to 0. So, we find two interesting aspects of the analytic function. First of all, if a function is analytic, we find a necessary condition that CR equation should satisfy, that is 1, and also the sufficient condition that they should be, this quantity should be continuous. It is not that they are just a single point, they should have the value equal. Second thing is that the function f, the function given function f z, it should not be the explicit function of z star. If it is explicit function of z star, then this equation will not going to satisfy. If this is explicit, not an explicit function of z star, then eventually the CR equation is satisfied. So, that means CR equation is satisfying for the function when z star is not an explicit dependence of that. Let us now do some straightforward example and figure out, that is all. I mean, now we are in a position that we know how the analytic function behave, and what we will do, that we will just find out how the different, how the different function behave with that. So, let us try to start with example 1. We wrote it earlier, that z square. Is it an analytic function, or should we have a derivative over that? So, first thing you should note that this function is not an explicit function of z star. You will not able to write this function in terms of z star at all. If you do not, then readily you understand that this function, whatever the function is given, should be analytic, but we need to prove with the by using the CR equation. So, z is equal to x plus iy, z square is x plus iy square, which is x square minus y square. The most simple example we have right now, 2xy with multiplication of I. So, from here we know that for this function my u x y is x square minus y square. My v x y is 2 of x y, these two things. Now, I will try to find out what is my ux, this quantity is 2 of x. What is my Vy? Vy is the partial derivative with respect to y of this function v, which is 2 of xy. So, it will be just 2x, and they are same. So, from here we managed to find out that this is ux and vy are same. One condition. What about the second one? Second one is uy. What is uy? Minus of 2y. What is vx? Vx is 2 of y. Now, again the second condition satisfied, because the second condition says that uy should be equal to minus of vx. So, uy here is equal to minus of vx. These two conditions readily gives us the idea that this function is an analytic function. Okay. After that, let us give some if z is real of z. If somebody gives you these things, if z is the real of z, what is the meaning of that? Real of z, what is the function, how the function will look like? So, real of z is very simple, x is equal to x, y, z is equal to x plus iy. So, real of z is equal to x. So, this quantity is simply x. Now, the question is this an analytic function? Now, two way you can check. First, you can use the Cauchy-Riemann equation. So, this is u, if you write u plus iv, then you will find that u is your x and v is 0. So, readily you will find that ux will be 1, but vy is 0, it is not matching. So, that means they are not same, ux is not equal to vy. So, obviously, this is not an analytic function, but apart from that also you can find out this is not an analytic function, because this is the next thing I show. X can be represented as z plus z star divided by 2. That means function of z, function of f it is an explicit function of z star. If it is an explicit function of z star, that means I never say that this is an analytic function, that we already prove. Okay. Let us go to another example, that function of z is e to the power of z. E to the power of x we know, e to the power of z is given to you, but you shouldn't worry about these things, because z is equal to x plus I y. So, I can write these things here, x plus I y, and from the function we can say that if I expand E the normal way we expand in real case, it will be a power series over z. So, there is no way that z star will come into the picture. So, that means it seems that this function should be an analytic function, it seems, but we need to prove that. So, I will just divide in these two things in this way. So, now I can write e to the power I x multiplied by e to the power I y, e to the power x multiplied by e to the power I y. E to the power I y is just cos y plus I sin y. So, from here I can write my u x y is e to the power x cos of y, and my v of x y is equal to e to the power of x sin of y. When we have u and v in this form, then we are in the position to write what is u x. U x is a partial derivative with respect to x. If I do, it will be simply u x cos y. What about the v y? V y is a partial derivative with respect to y. If I do this here, I should have e to the power x sin y is cos y, and from here I can write u x is equal to v y. Okay. So, now another equation I need to find, which is u y. U y is minus of e to the power x sin y, and v of x is e to the power x of sin y. U y and v y are related with fact with this, because of this negative sign, u y should be minus of v x. Again the second equation satisfied. So, the first one and second one are satisfied together, that means the CR equation is satisfied. When the CR equation is satisfied, you can say this function is analytic. Okay. Now, the last thing, where after that I will going to stop, that if a function, say a function f z, I say this is analytic in this region, and also we have some derivative over the region, that is the definition of analytic. So, now if I say f z, if f z is analytic for the range z less than infinity, that means I want to find, I say the function, I find a function which is analytic, that means it has some derivative with some z and also the neighborhood of z, but I am saying that the range of this z is less than infinity, that means almost entire plane except z into infinity point, then this function has a special name called entire function. This is called the entire function. What is the meaning of entire function? Entire function is some kind of function which is analytic over a range of z which is less than infinity. At z tends to infinity, the function may not have the analyticity, but apart from that it is analytic in the entire range. In this case, this function is called the entire. What are the examples of some entire functions? Say this is also very well behaved function, say z square or any polynomial of z e to the power of z sin z cos z and so on. So, all well behaved functions are in the set of entire function. These are the entire functions. So, entire functions we will come to some different kind of functions in the maybe in the next class we will encounter different kind of functions which has some kind of singularity, which is very important in the context of complex analysis. But before going to that step, we need to know what is the meaning of entire function, that the derivative, we have a derivative wherever you want you have the derivative except the point z tends to infinity. If z is infinity, then but you can readily understand that for example z plus 1, this is also in a function, but here the function, the way the function is given is not an entire function, because at z equal to -1 the function will blow up, and as a result we will not able to define this function at z equal to -1, but this point is not z tends to infinity, this is -1, is a finite point. So, this kind of function is not entire function, it should have some kind of singularity, but that thing we will cover in our future classes. So, today I am going to stop here, and today we will learn a very important thing, that the entire the function is called analytic if this function has a Cauchy-Riemann, they satisfy the Cauchy-Riemann equation. We show some kind of example and we find that this Cauchy-Riemann equation is satisfied under the condition that the function f z is not an explicit function of z star. So, whenever you find a function f which is not a function of z star explicitly, then you can readily say that this function may be an analytic function, but you need to check meticulously whether the Cauchy-Riemann equation is satisfied or not. Next thing is that there are many well-behaved functions we find today which should have the derivative in the entire range except the z tends to infinity point, and this function is called the entire functions. So, entire function is a well-behaved function as I mentioned, and in the next class we will go with that, we will find many important things for analytic function, and also we will start learning how to tackle with this special function where we have some kind of singularity. That means the function is blowing up at that particular point, particular finite point of z, and this singularity play a very important role, and how to tackle with this singularity and all these things, and more about the analytic function and how the analytic function behave, what is the speciality of the analytic function, we will learn in our next class. So, with that let us conclude today's class. So, see you in the next class with all these things. Thank you for your attention.